Utah, give me 2.
What is up, everybody? Mike Virginia here. Britton Allan, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Hope everyone is doing phenomenally on this beautiful Sunday. Britton, it is hot as all hell here in Virginia, and let me tell you, all right, and I cannot stand this effing heat. How are things looking in Tennessee, my friend?
Things are looking good, man. It is sweltering. We're in the dog days of summer. We're about to hit the All-Star break where people, Mike V, not us, but many people are about to check out because football time is coming. So, somebody that's in 10th, 9th, 8th, about ready to abandon the league, and you're going to snatch up those points because we've got players like Rece Hinds that are on a historical run that nobody else in your league is going to pay attention to because they're like reading training camp notes for their NFL team. But before we get into all that, I want to give a quick shout out to some viewers, to all our live viewers, but to some specifically family and friends, Sarah, Josie, Kate, and quite possibly the famous Lindsey Cameron. But thank you to everyone for being here with us. Mike, I'm so happy you're back. Last week I was by myself solo.
I saw that. And yeah.
And as much as I love talking to myself, and I love to talk, I much prefer to have the world famous Mike V in the house.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a little bit hectic again with work and family and things like that. My wife had COVID, which is apparently going around now. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that in Tennessee, but it's been running rampant. So luckily I did not have COVID, but I was sick. So I tested twice and I didn't get it. But and then, my son's been having some stuff at school and things like that, just dad and husbandly duties, as I know, married man and kids as well. So I'm happy to be back. And it sucks because we have it doesn't suck, but in a way it does because we're going to have a little bit of a break, a little bit of a layoff here between now and next Friday when the All-Star break is over. Did you get a chance to check out any of the Futures game yesterday?
I checked out a little bit, Cam Collier and all those, Harry Ford, all those guys were up. And, it's funny, the All-Star break couldn't come sooner because I really need to stop gambling.
College football is around the corner, man. That is prime. That is prime betting season, my friend.
It really is. Yeah. Tennessee, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I'm a big fan of the Tennessee Volunteers. It's where I went to college, met my wife, had a great time. That was back in the Peyton Manning days when they were good, long time ago. But I always like to bet on Tennessee on the first game of the season because they always cover. They're playing like Marshall University or Iowa State or, somebody, and they always cover that first game. And then fail to cover every single game to the end of the year, like literally, but they always cover that first opening game. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I got to get my plasma ready, Mike. I got to get my plasma ready for that game because that's going to be my payday.
There you go. Yeah, I'm a big college football guy myself, and I can't wait for it. But still, baseball season, as some of you guys have already alluded to in the live chat. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like and subscribe to the Palazzo Podcast YouTube channel. Our quest to 1,000 is ongoing. I believe we're at like 831 right now. So tell your friends, tell your mothers, tell your fathers, whoever. Get us going to 1,000. We greatly appreciate it. I don't have a whole lot prepped for today's show, Britt, just because obviously tomorrow there's no games. Today's the last game before the All-Star break, and then games don't resume again until Friday. So I'm going to leave this live chat wide open here. So if you guys have questions, let's get them rolling. We got our first one from Nate O. What's up, brother? He says, I'm looking to move one of my starting pitchers for a hitter. Would you trade Luis Gil or Shota Imanaga? Not sure which might have a better second half. Britton, what do you think?
I like both those pitchers. I would trade Imanaga because he had that exciting, fun run. Like he won like his first 7 games or something crazy. But now it's getting hot in Chicago. It's even in Chicago, the windy city, which I love Chicago. But it's getting hot and balls are flying, and he's a fly ball pitcher. So Luis Gil, for the Yankees, flashes that Pedro Martinez stuff. You know what I'm saying? So and I would bet on Gil. It's spelled Gil. Luis Gil. to have a great second half, I would bet against Shota Imanaga. As much as that pains me, because I've got a lot of Shota. I believe in Shota. I'm a Shota guy.
So I like both these guys. I don't have any shares of either of them, but if I think you're going to be able to acquire a top level, I think you'll be able to get more for Imanaga than you would Luis Hill. So I'm with Britton. I would trade Imanaga here. Just also to mention the fact of the Cubs are not good. And they've actually been quite disappointing this season too. So I think you're going to get a little bit more a better run support from Luis Hill too. Not to mention, both these guys have been up and down. They started off great, and they're starting to lose some steam here. Yeah, it's tough for me, but I think you're going to be able to get a much better hitter for Imanaga than you would Hill. That's just my personal opinion. But interested to know who you're looking to acquire here, Nate. Let us know in the live chat. We'll see if that's a good one for one here. Eddie Buzz, what's up, man? He says so happy to be here, and he's not ready for football. I'm ready for football, but not yet. I still like baseball seasons. So I love the fact it's just like seasons, Bretton, right? I like baseball. I like football. I like how they don't overlap too much, when we get into the pro season.
I have like a vague, numb dread because of the All-Star break. Like there's going to be a few days when there's no baseball on.
It sucks.
I honestly, I have anxiety about that. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, do I need to talk to my children? Like, what am I going to do for these 3 days? Like, go to work? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about it.
I thought about the same thing, dude. I was like, am I actually going to get really good sleep now because there's no baseball? Like, I don't have to worry about waking up in the middle of the night to check my scores or my fantasy teams at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. I go to bed early. For those of you guys on the East Coast, I go to bed at 9:30 Monday through Thursday, just because I have to get up so early for work. But I always wake up in the middle of the night. It's like this little tick that goes off in my head. It's like a silent alarm that says, hey, Mike V, hello, wake up, check what's going on here on the West Coast games, see how the other games finished up. So maybe my brain will actually shut off and allow me to sleep. So we'll see. Uncle Ted says, what's up, buddy? EA all day. What's up, bozos? Tuning in from an exercise bike at the gym. Happy draft day. All right. Well, we're glad we can be here for you at the gym, my friend.
Absolutely. The gym is where people exercise, right?
Yep, that's what they do. So they say.
Yeah, I've heard of it. It sounds fun. Hey, man, what do you want? What are you going to live forever? Hey, on the thing. I don't know if you watched the show last week, Mike, but I went on a tangent on donuts.
I saw that.
I talked for 20 minutes about donuts. So yeah, so me and the gym don't see eye to eye on certain things. And I also talked about the red gel in the raspberry jelly donut. I went off on a tangent.
Ooh, so good
on that too. So yeah, so that's where my mindset is.
Hey, we can talk about some donuts. If you go to Planet Fitness, they do pizza and ice creams and things like that too. So hopefully EA all day you're not at one of those. All right, Eddie Buzz, Mike, I like the shaved head. Thank you, my friend. I just got it cut probably 3 hours ago. So my face looked like Robin Williams's knuckles, Britton. It looked terrible. So I had to shave all of this. It's for me. Let me tell you guys something. I know Britton has a great head of hair and also a phenomenal beard. I can't rock that, unfortunately. It makes my face itch. And not to mention too, when I have a stressful week at work or just not been my day, nothing makes me feel better like a brand new man than when I get my hair cut and I get this is not even clean shaved, by the way. This is just a buzzer that I just take to my face. But I feel like $1 million and I'm so motivated to get back to work because the double-edged sword, right? Yes, there's no baseball, but I'll be ultra productive at work. I work this week, so
yeah,
which will be good. I got the haircut, I got the shave going, so
clean, man. You look clean.
Absolutely. But I still got a little stubble here, which my wife likes. Shout out, wifey, if you're listening. I know she's not. She's at the grocery store with my son. All right, Pistol RX. Hello, Eddie and okay, you guys are talking to each other here.
What up, people? So happy to see everyone. Eddie, Uncle Ted, Nate, Bizarrizza Jizza. What up, man?
Eddie wants to know, Brenton, are we indeed going to have a donut social or segment today?
I don't know how much more how many more donuts I can get into, because also this happened last time too. If I start talking about donuts, I get a little hungry. Like I've had breakfast, but it's what 11 Central.
Yeah.
I'm hungry again. So if I do this donut talk, like last time, Mike, on the live stream, I was like, if I keep talking about donuts, I'm taking a break. Like 15 minutes. I'm just putting the live stream on pause and I'm going to the refrigerator. It's like, I've got a problem. I can't even do a live stream without a donut break.
Love a good donut, man. I would like to talk about some donuts later. Hey, Mike, who is your college football team? I get asked this question a lot. So if those of you guys who don't know, I went to George Mason University, and if you guys were familiar with that school, they made the Final Four a long time ago. Back in
I remember that.
Yeah, back in the day. That's the school that I went to, and they don't have a college football team. They have a club team. So, unfortunately, I did not have a college football team. So I always tell this, Britton, since we're talking about betting, my college football team is the team that's winning me money, baby. Okay. So I root for anybody that's winning me money. I don't have a horse in the race. I just like betting on it. I'm a degenerate when it comes to college football. I'll take like 1 million games. I got friends that take 1 or 2 games, the spread, the over-unders, whatever. Your boy, Britton, has got a whole notepad full of bets, even if they're just little sprinkles here and there. I just love to take the over-unders, the props, the parlays, whatever it may be. I just can't get enough of it.
You like action, is what you're saying.
I love it. Oh, yeah. I love the action. Britton says, or Eddie Buzz says, Britton, thank you for the Tennessee info. I'm going to put a nickel on Tennessee's first game because of you.
You and me, Eddie. Thelma and Louise.
Let's lock that in.
Riding the Cadillac with the drop top off the Grand Canyon with the go vault, with doing the V's. Let's do it.
Eddie, are you a Georgia Tech fan? I see the yellow jacket there in your profile picture on YouTube. Let us know, man. Georgia Tech was fun back in the day when they had like Reggie Ball and like Calvin Johnson.
The option thing, right? Wasn't that their
Dwyer?
thing?
Yeah, Paul Johnson was there for a little bit. And God, man, nobody ever wanted to play there. I think Demarius Thomas, because they had, if you remember, they had Calvin Johnson, Demarius Thomas back to back, and now nobody wants to play for them anymore. So
everybody goes to Georgia, Mike V.
That's right.
Georgia is the new Tennessee. That was the new Florida. Remember when Florida and Spurrier ruled the world?
Right. That's true. I remember that. Eddie says, hey, Mike and Britton, when you guys blow up, please don't forget us OGs when you do. Man, I would love for that to happen. We're going to be talking about donuts. We're going to be talking about fantasy baseball, Tennessee, Orange, man. It's just we do it all here on the Palazzo Podcast, Britton.
Yeah, if it's possible to blow up talking fantasy baseball, we have as good a shot as anybody, but I don't know if it's possible. But maybe, Mike V, you're tech savvy. You know all the stuff. Maybe you could get us like a TikTok page, like I'll do some dances or something.
Jesus. We'd blow up for sure for that.
Is that what would happen?
Oh yeah,
I'd go to jail for something. No. I don't know.
Do you guys have crumble cookies out where you're at?
Oh, of course we have crumble cookies, man. You know I got to eat the crumble.
Yeah, we're gonna have like Britton's donut of the week or donut of the day, and he's gonna highlight just in a quick segment, just a 30-second thing in terms of what donut he's eating for the day, and that'll make us blow up. We'll have our own donut shop, fantasy baseball. It'll kind of be this brick and mortar of all things that no matter what day you come in, we'll be talking about something random.
We'll definitely talk some random nonsense, no doubt. But true story. After my girls' soccer game, we were killing time to pick up a pizza at Domino's. So we went to the Dunkin' Donuts that was next door. I, of course, got the raspberry jelly donut, and my daughter, Joyce, got a s'more donut. So it had, the s'mores with the chocolate and the graham cracker and the marshmallow. It had marshmallow. Oh, it was awesome. It had marshmallow inside and then graham cracker and chocolate on the top. It was a s'more donut. Oh my God. I have a friend from Minnesota, and this is what she says. She goes, I'll say something. She goes, oh my God. Oh my God. That's what I say after I eat a s'more donut. I become a Midwestern Minnesotan. I go, oh my God. It's delicious.
It sounds
Shout
delicious
out
indeed.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I love there's a place over by us called Duck Donuts, and they have a bacon maple donut where They just literally sprinkle like bacon bits, like real bacon, not the shit that you put on salads. I'm talking about real bacon, and they it's almost like they glue it in with the glaze. And Britton, let me tell you something. It's not just a little. It's just not a little sprinkle of bacon. They load that mf'er up, and when they see Mike V coming, they say, "Hey, can we get a little bit more bacon on that, please?"
Extra bacon, sir. Extra bacon.
Exactly. And it's like a heart attack in a donut, and it's one of my favorite things on this earth. So next time you go to a donut shop, say, "Hey, I need a bacon donut stat. Give me 2 of them."
No, yeah.
Let's get into a couple other questions here. Thank you guys for being patient. If you guys got questions, drop them in the live chat. Britt and I are always happy to help here as we approach the All-Star break. Not a lot of action happening tomorrow, but we still got a full slate of games today. Maybe this is the time we make some trades here, Britton. So Business said he just traded Imanaga for Luis Robert. My bats are decimated with injuries between Royce Lewis, Tatis, Stanton, and Bellinger. I actually like that trade a lot. You got to hope that Luis Robert stays healthy for one, and number two, you got to hope that maybe he improves his team here. I think the White Sox are going to be looking to deal him, so maybe he gets dealt to somebody like the Dodgers or the Phillies or the Mets or somebody like that. Britton, you like this trade?
I love it. I'm all for Luis Robert. I think he's a talented bat. He was a huge prospect coming up. It hadn't but the Chicago White Sox are like in the Peanuts, the cartoons, there's that kid that has the dark cloud, the rain cloud, and everywhere. That's the Chicago White Sox. I want talented players to leave the White Sox, go somewhere else until they clean house in the Chicago White Sox. It's just a mess. But yeah, I'm all for that. I like Luis Robert. I think he's going to have a good second half. I'm just worried about Imanaga. I really worry about that fly ball pitcher in Chicago. I think he is like the classic sell high if you can. He got rocked for like 10 earned runs a couple starts ago. So the window may have closed, but if there's still an opening, I would slide through it, baby. Shota Imanaga is going to have a rough second half, I think.
Well, he lit up my O's. No earned runs, got the win, 6 Ks. Baltimore's playing like shit. They haven't scored more than 5 runs in like a total of 5 runs in like 34 games or something like that. They've been in a real bad slump. So to Britton's point, that's the perfect opportunity to sell high on him because he just mowed down the O's, right? So his value may never be higher right now. I would look to be dealing him. And for a guy like Luis Robert, I would make that deal in a heartbeat because I do think Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet will no longer be White Sox by the end of the trade deadline. I think both those guys are gone. The White Sox will be looking to clean house, acquire draft picks, prospects, whatever you want to call it. I think the days of those guys are they're gonna blow it up, right, and get what they can. So I like this trade a lot for you, Bizza. Good deal. Uncle Ted, Angel Martinez with 2 home runs this week. Yeah. He's been looking good.
Angel Jimenez, not Jimenez.
Martinez, yeah.
Martinez, excuse me.
I was thinking
about the remember the umpire that was so terrible? Was it Angel Rodriguez? He was so terrible they like literally forced him to retire. Because everybody hated him because he was the worst.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the baseball player Martinez for Cleveland because his name's Angel or Angel, then of course I associate him with that umpire. But yeah, no, he's been a strong
Angel
hitter.
Hernandez.
Hernandez. That's it.
Yeah.
Angel Hernandez. God, that guy was bad.
Yeah, he's been looking good. And he's hitting in that 2-hole sandwich between Quan and Jose Ramirez. So if he can continue to sit there, that'll be good for them, obviously, and for Martinez. So I want to look him up actually real quick here, Britton, because he does qualify, at least in Yahoo, at second, third, short, and outfield, which is great. But I will note he's only hitting 214 over the last week, and I think he's going to have those bumps in the road going into last night's game. He was 2 for 18 going into yesterday's game. 2 for 18. So pump the brakes a little bit. I understand if you're playing in a league where it's a deeper format, 14 team plus, not trying to yuck anybody's yums, but just keep in mind that he will be the proverbial roller coaster, and he'll need to continue to hit if he wants to stay in that 2-hole.
Everybody goes up and down. That's the
Yep.
nature of this business. That's why we do the Fab every week. We get the players on the up, like Lawrence Butler for the Oakland A's is on a heater. He's batting leadoff for the A's. And you're like, the A's, they suck. I'm like, yeah, kind of. But if you're batting leadoff and you hit for power and steal bases, you're valuable. So Lawrence Butler for the A's is somebody that's on a hot streak. Another player that I really like, and I know I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm going to keep doing it. Michael Toglia of the Colorado Rockies, first base and outfield eligible. He has had 3 home runs in the past 5 games. This is what he does. He's a power hitter, like Giancarlo Stanton, except he's playing every day. Michael Toglia plays every day. Once they get out of the All-Star break, there are 2 series in Coors. So you get him now, and then you get him at Coors. He's their first-round draft pick from 2019. They're going to let him play, and he's going to hit home runs. He's a power bat. I love Michael Toglia. It's spelled Toglia, but it's the G silent, Toglia. He's a power hitter for the Colorado Rockies. He's hitting home runs. I love him in points leagues because he's going to hit home runs, and you don't care about batting average in a points league. So so give me some Michael Toglia if you need power, first base outfielder for the Rockies.
Love that call. And how about my boy Brenton Doyle?
Yes,
dude,
he
been
really
on
is
fire.
I want to go after this. I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to buy an autographed Brenton Doyle card. I don't care what it costs, and I'm mailing it first class United States Postal Service to Mike V. You have been banging the drum for this player for months.
Yes.
And he's been delivering for months. So I got to give a shout out to Mike V because this guy, I mean, he's a 2020 type player. Like, now away from Coors, we don't know. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know about Brenton Doyle, but
but here's the thing. He pitched well, or he hit well in Cincinnati, which is like the Coors of the Midwest, right? So the Great American Ballpark is another ballpark that you can take advantage of when you're streaming hitters. Brenton Doyle, I think we talked about it maybe a month or so ago. His splits, it's crazy. He was hitting like sub 200 on the road, and then he was hitting like 300 at Coors, which is great. So, this guy definitely needs to be owned. He's got 14 home runs and 20 stolen bases. Those 14 home runs, Britton, 7 of those have come over the last month. So half of his home runs have come over. He's just on a heater. And like you alluded to, obviously he gets some core series. Out of the All-Star break, he gets the Giants at home. So he's 81% rostered in Yahoo. That's climbed substantially over the past couple of weeks. But I love the Toglia call. And I like the other guys in there too. Brendan Rodgers just starting to turn around a little bit. You can take advantage of some Coors guys. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, these guys will be able to help you out, especially as we get into the playoffs for fantasy baseball. So love that call. I want to answer Nate's question here real quick because we've had it up on the screen for a while now. He was thinking of offering Imanaga and Cruz. Is that O'Neill Cruz or Ellie De La Cruz? If it's O'Neill Cruz, I understand this trade for Lindor and a 10-team OBP quality start. Is it too much? Honestly, Nate, this is how I approach trades. I always like trying to go 1 for 1 first, because if I'm the guy who's like, damn, I would do Imanaga for Lindor and I get Cruz, yeah, accept. But how do we know he wouldn't have taken just Imanaga for Lindor straight up? So
I like it. In a 10-team league, Imanaga may not even be worth rostering. So if he's a sweetener, then I'm all for it. You can go. I would drop Imanaga for like Tyler Phillips for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I would, man. I would. I guess I'm way too down on Shota than I should be, but I think he's about to hit the wall. But if it's O'Neill Cruz and Imanaga for Francisco Lindor, I would do that in a New York minute. I'm not trading Ellie De La Cruz for anybody, frankly. Same. So if it's O'Neill Cruz, I would make that deal. I would definitely make that deal.
Yeah, I would make that deal as well, but I would try Imanaga for Lindor straight up first and see if he takes that. And if not, then sweeten the deal with Cruz and see what he does. Let's see here. Eddie Buzz says, gentlemen, I was a bookie for 30 years before DraftKings took over. No one wins gambling over the long haul. Trust me. Hey,
Truth.
You're correct. But I only bet college football, man. In the past 2 years, knock on wood, I've come out on top with some money.
I just want to break even.
Christmas.
Yeah, I just want to break even. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. All right. EA all day. Big yikes from Berrios today. I fear he's turning back into a pumpkin. Yeah. Jose Berrios, or yesterday he said. Okay. This is who Berrios is, though, right? Like, we've seen him up and down. This is just who he is, right? I mean, I know when he came up with Minnesota, he was supposed to be the next big thing, but he's a quality SP 3-4 Britton, at least in my mind. The Blue Jays are not good. Who knows if they sell him at the deadline too? Because I know they've talked about rumblings of Vlad and Bo Bichette getting dealt, but for me, I don't know if he can do much better on the waiver wire. He's going to have. I would pick and choose his starts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But Brent, any strong thoughts on Berrios?
Yeah, I don't care about. I don't want Berrios, and frankly, any pitcher on the Toronto Blue Jays, I don't want any hitter on the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are the most disappointing team in the entire major leagues. Like, yeah, the Marlins have a worse record. Chicago White Sox have a worse record. That's true. But they weren't like loaded. Like, the Marlins aren't loaded with talent like the Blue Jays are, with Springer and Vlad Jr., all the Bo Bichette, like all these high-end players, and they're just not doing anything. Now, I personally think it's the manager's fault because he sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a combination of things. But yeah, the Blue Jays are a huge disappointment. And Berrios isn't talented enough to turn it around, I don't think. So yeah, I would get rid of Berrios. I think the Toronto Blue Jays are going to start selling too. And once they start shaking up the team like that, guess what? The whole clubhouse, they're not like, oh, I really want to give it my all today. They're looking at the clock going, when can I get out of here today? You know what I mean? And maybe we'll see you next year. So right. I'm out on the Blue Jays, man. Yeah, they got rocked by the Diamondbacks. And I know that because Diamondbacks -3.5 run line plus 210. What?
There you go. So Britton's already been
bet
looking
against
at
the Blue Jays,
books.
baby.
EA Day says, Mike, have you ever had fractured prune out at the beach? Yeah, I believe that's in Maryland. I've heard of it. I've never had it. It's a donut shop. EA Day is referring to. I have not, but I am. Since we're talking about donuts, I might drive all the way up there and go get one.
Fractured prune. I thought that was code for something that the kids are doing these days. Like, I was like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's actually in Frederick, Maryland. So Fantasy Sports wants to know, when do we think Springs gets the call up? Should I drop anyone from Gavin Williams, Verlander, Bobby Miller, or Boz for Springs? I think they're probably going to be calling him up shortly after the All-Star break. It would not surprise me if it's sometime before the end of the month or early August for Springs, because Tampa Bay is starting to play a little bit better here. Springs is part of their future. The thing is there's not a rotation spot for him right now, I don't believe. So they'd have to bump somebody like Zach Littell.
Ryan Pepio.
He's not going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. He'll be fine. Yeah. I think Littell will probably be a long relief. I'd be my first vote to see when obviously to see if he gets bumped out. I think he will. And maybe a six. Honestly, here's the likely scenario. They may go 6-man rotation for guys like Boz and Springs to allow them extra rest in between starts. But I would add him for probably Bobby Miller, Fantasy Sports. I'm holding on to Gavin, Verlander, and Boz. But Bobby Miller is obviously down in AAA. He's going to be there for quite some time. I haven't changed my tune on Bobby Miller. Britton, I'm probably alone in this boat here. A lot of people are talking about dropping him in redraft leagues. I said this on my Ask Me Anything last week. He's been bad. I don't own any shares of Bobby Miller. That there is no doubt about it, right? But do you see any scenario where he goes down to AAA? I'm gonna play it for you out here, because this is just what I'm dreaming of. Do you see any scenario where he's down in AAA, he gets right with the pitching coach, he's got all of All-Star break, plus probably a couple weeks after that to get right. He's had a couple good starts under his belt. He comes up, the Dodgers get Mookie Betts back, a couple other guys back, and then Bobby Miller just starts to take off, and he reminds everyone why we drafted him, number 75 overall in drafts. Do you see that scenario happening at all?
I definitely can see that scenario happening. But what I also see happening is the Dodgers are just having a terrible year. Have you noticed? Like, they keep losing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Freddie Freeman, like, they're all other than Ohtani.
Yeah, I was going to say, other than Ohtani. Yeah.
Ohtani's great. But do you know, like I saw, I was watching him because he hit a couple home runs at the Tigers Comerica. Shout out Robbie Baseball. But the Tigers came back. They scored like 5 runs in the 9th, and then another couple runs in extra innings to come back and beat the Dodgers. Like, man, the Dodgers are just, it's just a bad year. So I'm betting against Bobby Miller because, you know, we don't, it's not Bobby with a Y anymore. It's Bobby with an I. Okay. Bobby, the assistant manager of your local Cracker Barrel down in Arkansas. That's Bobby Miller. That's this year's version of Bobby Miller. Like, I don't want to talk to that Bobby. Bobby with an I.
I would drop him. So I think we're agreeing on the fact that we dropped Bobby Miller for Springs. You good with that?
Absolutely. You know, Springs has started 2 rehab starts. Both went 4 innings. He's going to get a couple more to get stretched out. I would say the second week of August is when he comes back up. But even when he comes back up and faces major league hitters, you know, I don't know if he's going to go 5 innings, 6 innings. Like, I don't know if that's in the cards.
That's true.
So even if he does come back, I'd be shocked if you get more than 1 or 2 quality starts out. I'm shocked. Yeah. So, but he had it's like Drew Rasmussen. You know, those two had those huge hot starts. But man, that was like a year and a half ago. You know, it's just you gotta move on. Go pick up Wilbur Diaz or Tyler Phillips, like guys that are performing right now. And hey, did you notice our love child Gavin Williams? He had a pretty good start the other day.
He did. I was very happy with that. Back to the Bobby Miller thing. I think he's this year's Alec Manoah. And I know we did the same thing with Alec Manoah last year. Everyone's like, oh, we drafted him here. And then people were in on him when he came back and gave like a 10K performance and then he shit the bed again. I think something's mechanically going on with Bobby Miller right now, but it's also worth noting, to your point, Britton, that the Dodgers have not been playing well, but they're down Mookie Betts. They're down Yamamoto. They're down Glass now. They're just decimated by injuries. So when all of these guys start coming back up and start getting healthier again and Mookie comes back, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying he's a lottery ticket for me. And if I play in deeper formats, like a 14-team league or higher, I'm probably still holding him if I have an NA spot and I don't need the roster spot, just in case that does happen. If I'm playing in those leagues and he gets dropped, for me personally, I'm picking him up. I know a lot of people are out on him. We've talked enough about Bobby Miller.
Drop Bobby Miller and pick up Spencer Schwellenbach.
He's pitched well 2 starts now.
Schwellenbach for the Atlanta Braves. He's got a 13% stringing strike rate. That is great. And he's got a 2-start week. Go get Spencer Schwellenbach right now.
There you go. All right, we got a lot of questions to get to here, Britton. Live chat is bumping. Sorry for you guys who have been asking. We'll get to you guys here in a second. I'm getting it back here.
I'm loving it. Hey, I was watching I'm sorry, go ahead. I was watching TV the other day, and Wendy's, you know, they do breakfast now, which is actually pretty delicious.
Oh, never had it.
And now they're upping their chicken nugget game. I don't know if you've noticed this, Mike V.
I did see that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I did see that, yep.
I'm watching this commercial, and so they're making chicken nuggets now that they put in sauce, also known like boneless buffalo
chicken
wings,
nuggets.
which is also known as chicken nuggets. Right. So they're making chicken nuggets with sauce now, but they can't call it chicken nuggets with sauce. That doesn't, have a real ring to it. So now they call it saucy nugs for the kids. So now my wife happened to be walking by, and I was like, "Hey there, saucy nugs." And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." So anyway, I'm all in on saucy nugs.
There you go. I'm with you, buddy. I'm going to have to try those. Eddie says, I made a few trades this week in an 18-team league. First one, I traded Jake Berger and Duhar and Jarren Duran for Brent Rooker and Ryan Mountcastle. Ooh. How do we feel about this trade here, Britton? I love Jarren Duran, man. I love him so much. He's the best player in this deal for me.
I hear that. But Brent Rooker has been smoking hot. Yep. I'm a huge Ryan Mountcastle fan. I think the player that's going to hit the most home runs is Brent Rooker. Yeah. So I like the Brent Rooker side of it. I think he's a secret sneaky home run hitter. It's like 40 home run hitter type of guy. I really like him. Berger's starting to play a little bit better, and Duhar can play. But I like, long story short, I like Rooker the best out of all those players. So I want that side of the deal.
Well, you got to give something to get something, right, Britton? So Jarren Duran, I look at this as like Jarren Duran for Brent Rooker plus a sprinkle of Ryan Mountcastle. Mountcastle is very streaky. Take it from me, guy living in Northern Virginia and watches Baltimore on a routine basis. He'll have these hot streaks and then he'll go just ice cold. So honestly, I think this is a very fair deal. But and Britton has already alluded to, he likes the Rooker side. I like the Duran side just a little bit more because I think he gives you a little bit of everything. Rooker's really going to just be hitting for power. And they're almost the same player between Rooker and Mountcastle. They're not going to give you a super high batting average. They're not going to steal any bases. They're just going to give you a lot of solid power. So if you need power in this league, Eddie, I like this deal for you. But I would be interested to know what your stolen base situation looks like with Duran gone now.
Well, Rooker's going to play every day.
Yep.
And he's going to bat third or clean up every single day as long as he's healthy. I like that because plate appearances are the king. Ryan Mountcastle, I like Ryan Mountcastle, but like what happens if it's Ryan O'Hearn plays and Santander can play first? Like, there's just so many mouths to feed in Baltimore, even though they've hit a swoon, but every team does. Like, it's going to happen in 162 games. So.
Yeah,
but the O's are going to win that division anyway, so this is just part of the process.
Yep. Real quick, I want to make this announcement as well. We talked about him in the very first show of the year. All of us were in a Palazzo podcast meeting. Brent Honeywell, the poster boy of Palazzo podcast, draws the start today, Britton, for the Los Angeles Dodgers against Govier's Bozo Tigers. Brent Honeywell.
I saw that.
This is the news of the day.
He got DFA'd.
Yep.
Like that's how he got on the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers snagged him off the waiver wire. Brent Honeywell Jr. got DFA'd and the Dodgers took him. Now they're going to start him. Talk about desperate measures for desperate times, I guess. But yeah, I did. I tweeted at Robbie Baseball and Ben, Big Ben, Gentle Ben, because they always talk about Brent Honeywell. Like he's like the Jose Suarez of their podcast. He's always a topic. So hey, man, I wish him the best. And if you're gonna start for somebody, you might as well start for the Dodgers. You know what?
Hell yeah, baby. I hope he pitches well today. I really do, because this is the resurgence of his career. I'm calling it now. I'm calling my shot. I'm kidding. Bizza says Doyle and Keith are killing me this week. Bizza, I have him in both of them in my home league. I started both Doyle and Keith yesterday. I have been for the past couple of games now. Keith is recent, but I've had Doyle on my team for a while. So I'm really happy with that. Apologies that they're killing you this week, but they've been killing it for me this week. So I love that. But hopefully your team can turn it around next week. Still get 3 more games. Hopefully you can right the ship.
Man,
TM says,
where is Spencer Torkelson? Can somebody find me?
Wasted away.
Spencer Torkelson. Like, why you don't send down your first overall pick? You just don't. Yep. Even if he has a bad year, if he has 2 bad years, if he has 3 bad years, I don't care. He plays every day. End of rant.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. But yeah, I agree with you. Not to mention too, the dude hit like 30-something bombs last year. So last week that'd be fun.
Stupid.
Yeah. TM says head-to-head points. Keep rolling with Buxton. He has been hot, but sitting quite a bit, or drop him for Lawrence, Butler, Toglia, Nootbaar, or Friedel. Well, I know Britton's answer is going on this one. Me personally, I think Friedel will be back shortly after the All-Star break. And I would be looking to get him on your team over all of these guys first and foremost. But if you need a bat for next week, going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Britton already alluded to it. Toglia gets 3 games at home against the Giants. So if you need some production, I would be looking to add him the short term. Long term, it's Friedel for me.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a love him and leave him, Mike. I love you, and then I'll leave you, and then I'll love something else. And I will love. I will drop Buxton in a New York minute.
Yeah.
And pick up Michael Toglia for 6 games at Coors, get some home runs, and then, pick up the next guy. So, yeah, give me Toglia, give me Lawrence Butler. I don't care about Nootbaar. I think I have a Nootbaar problem, Mike. I don't know about you. I just
to hate
don't
Nootbaar.
care. I have a Nootbaar issue. It's like fig Nootbaar. It's like I want to like it. I want to like the fig Nootbaar.
Yeah.
It's got fig, which is prunes.
It's sweet.
It's like, it looks good. It looks like an oatmeal cookie, and then you taste it, and you're like, this is trash. This is a trash treat. A fig Newton Nootbaar is trash. I don't care. It doesn't taste good. Toss that and eat a s'more donut.
Agreed. Or a bacon donut. Yeah. Back to the donut thing. Nootbaar is more valuable in OBP leagues. So I will say that, TM. If you play in an OBP league, Nootbaar is obviously going to be valuable in there. I'm with Britton. I used to hate Nootbaar. I had a couple shares of him last year, and I could see why people liked him. So he's been hurt. I think he's going to share some playing time with Siani from the Cardinals there until he gets right. But Nootbaar is one of their staples. He'll move his way back up into the lineup and probably hit 1 or 2. But yeah, if I had to rank him, I'd go Friedel first, Toglia 2, and then Lawrence Butler 3.
If I'm picking up anybody on the Cardinals, I want Alec Burleson, who's batting second, who's been on a nuts heater. He looks like he's a big hefty boy, team hefty boy, donut boy like me. So yeah, give me Alec Burleson. I don't want Nootbaar. I want Burleson. Give me that.
Fantasy Sports wants to know 10-team redraft head-to-head points. As good as Colt Keith has been, would you drop him for Kobe Mayo once called up? No. I would find a way to get Kobe Mayo on your team, but Colt Keith has just been so damn good. There's absolutely no way that you can just flat drop him. I would drop a closer. I drop your last starter of your rotation before I dropped Colt Keith. Reason why? Colt Keith has been proven. We have no idea what Kobe Mayo's situation is going to look like when he comes up. Hopefully they give him the reins, and I'll use Mike Elias's words here, the runway, quote unquote. Hopefully he plays third. Maybe he gets some reps at first, but we've already seen how rookie prospects struggle when they first come up. So I want to roster Kobe Mayo for sure, but I would look and find any possible way that I could without dropping Colt Keith.
Yeah, Colt Keith is the real deal. He had a slow start, but he's coming on. This dude had some pedigree. He got a big contract before he even started a Major League Baseball game. There's a reason, and he's showing you why now because he's a good hitter. All the metrics back it up too. So yeah, hang on to Colt Keith.
Yeah, agree.
Plus 2 first names. As who was there was the fantasy baseball dudes were always like, yeah, you got to go with the two first names. Colt Keith.
There you go. Eddie says he meant Johan Duran, not Jaron Duran. If that's the case, then I love that trade for you. You get Brent Rooker. Absolutely. You can find closers and be ready to pounce because the trade deadline's coming up. You're going to see some of these guys start to move.
Yes.
So you can replace a closer. No problem.
Go pick up Rece Hinds. Don't drop Colt Keith. But hey, speaking of closers, Hunter Harvey from the Washington Nationals got traded to the Kansas City Royals. Now, James MacArthur has been closing games, but his ERA is like 5. And he had 2 saves and a doubleheader, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but they traded for Hunter Harvey. He's probably on your waiver wire 12-team leagues. He is a good spec ad. He might be the closer in Kansas City, so go grab him and see what happens. Tanner Scott for the Miami Marlins is going to get traded. He is in the last year of he's a free agent next year. He's in the last year of ARB. He's not going to re-sign with the Miami Marlins. He is going to get traded to some team that needs a lefty high leverage guy. And AJ Puck, I think, is going to be the Miami Marlins closers. So go get AJ Puck. Looks like Puke. P-U-K. University of Florida, Gators, Gatorville. Don't hold that against him, but go get AJ Puck. He's going to be the closer for the Marlins once Tanner Scott gets traded. He will get traded. I'm not sure of much in life, Mike V. I really don't. I don't know. Will the sun come up tomorrow? How many donuts am I going to eat today? How many Miller Lights are? I don't know. I don't know. Yep. I know Tanner Scott's getting traded. I know he's getting traded. So go get AJ Puck. And I also like Jeff Hoffman. Did you know, although Jose Alvarado is listed as the closer, A, he kind of sucks, and B, 4 of the 5 last save ops have gone to Jeff Hoffman, who looks great. He got the hold.
Made that call yesterday.
He looked good yesterday. He got the hold, and then Alvarado came in to to give up a run or two. But, the Phillies had such a good lead because my boy Taylor Phillips looked strong in his first start.
I started him yesterday.
And you got a win yesterday, too, if you started him.
In 7 Ks, I believe?
I think it was 5 Ks or 6. But here's what happened with Tyler Phillips. And I watched the game because, I picked him up everywhere, and I bet on him. We go back to gambling. But so I watched his whole start. He looked really good. He's a long relief guy, but he got the start because the Phillies have some issues. I think he's going to keep getting starts even after the All-Star break. So he went 6 innings. All right, 2 earned runs, 5 or 6 Ks. Solid as a rock and efficient. He only had like 75 pitches. A pitch count. So they brought him back out to the 7th. Remember, this is his first major league start. He's a long relief guy. Why they brought him back out for the 7th when the Phillies bullpen was well rested, I don't know. Of course, he walked the guy, hit a batter, and both those runs came in. So now he's got a 4 earned run, which doesn't look nearly as good as 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. So, maybe he'll fly under the radar, but he looked really, really good. And even though he gave up those final two earned runs in the 7th, the standing ovation that he got when he got taken out by the Phillies people, what a exciting moment. I am betting on Tyler Phillips the rest of the way. And if you want a good, solid starter that's totally unowned, and in a points league, he's RP eligible. I think that's awesome if you put him in your RP stance and get all those juicy starter points. I mean, 6 innings pitched, 6 Ks and a win. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's worth noting too, and I know we talked about Hunter Harvey as well. I'm going to ask everybody to pump the brakes just ever so slightly because over the past month, Hunter Harvey's ERA sits at 9.00. MacArthur is at 1.00. So I look at this as a 8th inning exact same role that they had for him in Washington. If anything were to happen to MacArthur, I think Harvey moves into that spot, but I still think this is MacArthur's job. If you play in a league where you're pining for saves and making speculative ads, I think I would go ahead and do that. But I still think this is MacArthur's job for right now, and I think the leash will be pretty long on him. But he's pitched solid, 9 innings pitched compared to Harvey's 10. And he's got a 1 ERA, a 1 WHIP, and a 5.0 K per 9 versus Harvey's, which is a 10.8 K per 9. So I think Harvey's a better strikeout pitcher, but MacArthur's been the guy there. I think they're going to continue to have him be the guy there. But if you need saves, I would go out and make a speculative ad on him. A closer that I like, Britton, that I talked about in my notes this morning, Ben Joyce of the Los Angeles Angels. You heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks. Carlos Estevez will be traded at the trade deadline, much like Tanner Scott. Ben Joyce has been reported he will be the next guy in line. He threw a pitch on Friday, 104 miles per hour, the fastest pitch thrown this season, Britton, from Mr. Ben Joyce. So he has the stuff. He's just going to have to find a better secondary, third and third pitch to put guys away. He has not been great with that and striking guys out. So if Ben Joyce is out on your waiver wire, I would go look to make that move. Now, most people will say to me, well, Mike, it's the Angels, man. They suck. They're not going to get save opportunities. Britton, do you know how many saves Carlos Estevez has this season?
A ton, like 20.
17.
He's been great. Carlos Estevez has been one of the best closers in baseball. And I will say it. He's been one of the best. He's not Emmanuel Clase is number 1, but he's top 5. Carlos Estevez for the Angels. He's been crazy. He went on like a 12 appearance no hit. Like didn't give up a hit for like 12 straight appearances. He's been great. Yeah, Ben Joyce is legit. Also, go Vols, University of Tennessee. Ben Joyce, he's got the closer stuff. So yeah, they're going to trade Carlos Estevez. That's a great call. And Ben Joyce is a true talent, and he's going to be under team control for a while. So he's not going anywhere. So that's a great call. Yeah, go get Ben Joyce for the Angels.
Yeah, don't wait until Estevez gets traded. He will get traded. I don't know if he's going to be a closer elsewhere. They might use him as bullpen help as an 8th or 9th guy, or 8th and an occasional 9th guy. But Ben Joyce will be the closer when that time comes. Get him now. Don't wait. Go get Ben Joyce if you need a closer.
Don't we need to talk about Rece Hinds? Like we haven't done that yet, or did we?
He's Aquino 2.0. I think somebody already talked about him, but Uncle Ted did. Hinds has been absolutely nuclear. He's been phenomenal. He's the poster boy on this YouTube channel or this show today. If he's still somehow floating around in your waiver wire, Britton, I don't know if he's going to be much like Colt Keith, and I've made this very clear, and Govier has been busting my balls ever since. Between him and Colt Keith, I think they're obviously phenomenal right now. They're playing extremely well. They both need to be owned. Do you think I don't think these guys are going to be that good. I think there is some level of regression that's coming for both of these guys. But, with both of them, who do you prefer more rest of season?
Colt Keith for the rest of the season. For right now, Mike V, we always say carpe diem, which, as you know, in France translates to eat more beignets.
That's right.
Which is a type of donut. So eat carpe diem. Is it Hinds? You say Hinds. I say Hinds.
I say Hinds.
Is it Hinds or
yeah.
Hinds? He's an outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds. Historical start, literally historical. It's never happened before. That's how hot he's been, hitting home runs day after day after day. It's amazing. And this isn't quite a fluke like Aristides Aquino was. Like Rece in the minor leagues, was a 6 home run, 6 stolen base. Like he does have a track where he didn't just come out of nowhere. Now, no one saw this coming, obviously, because it's borderline unfathomable what's happening. But he's doing it. His 35% K rate in the minors, that is, he can't do that in the major leagues. But we'll see. But like we said, carpe diem, get him now. He's going to, because in a month from now you're going to drop him. Because he's going to go 0 for 35. Like, that's just how it works. But right now, carpe diem, like a shooting star, baby. Those stars burn bright. They're burning the atmosphere right now. Don't look at it. Just press click and get it. Don't stare at the sun. Don't stare at the shooting stars. But Rece Hinds for the Cincinnati Reds, you have to pick him up to see how long he burns. Better to burn out than to fade away. R.I.P. Kurt Cobain. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pick up these hot players because A, you don't want them going to another team, and B, you want to ride those stats.
Right. Yeah, agreed. And between the two, I prefer Colt Keith as well. But like I said, both these guys need to be rostered until this wave crashes. If you guys watch this show, we use the term ride the wave, and that's kind of where we're at with both of these guys. We'll see how they do throughout the rest of the season, and it couldn't come at a worse time because they're going to be on a huge layoff between now and next Friday because both these guys are just red hot. You want them to keep going. So it's just one of those things too, where again, if you have a bench spot that you can mess around with, add these guys, put them in your lineup, wait till the wave crashes, then you pivot and make another move. So, but yeah, these guys have been absolutely crazy. For me, it's Hinds first and Colt Keith in terms of waiver priority for hitters if they're still somehow available. So, let's get through a couple other here. Somebody was talking about Alec Burleson in here. Joe Chris says he's late. So, and if Burleson is available, you're playing with amateurs. He is only 80% rostered, and his roster percentage was in the 70s last week, Joe. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. Yes, he probably should be owned, but it's not like he's a universally owned guy. His roster percentage was sitting in the 70s last week. So, and again, he's been really, really good. So yes, I agree with you that he needs to be owned. In most 12 teams, he's probably owned. But if he's still somehow floating around on there, I would make sure that you go get him.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Adam's saying AJ Puck's going to get dealt too. I actually made a bold prediction in the beginning of the year that I thought AJ Puck would lead the Marlins in saves. So I'm hoping that he doesn't, and he comes and he ends up getting a lot of saves here for the Marlins. I don't have any faith in AJ Puck. I'm probably not rostering him. I need to see it from him a little bit before I'm willing to make that move when that time comes of Tanner Scott being dealt. But if you're playing deeper formats and saves are like running backs, man, or closers are like running backs, you got to roster them where you can. So
yeah, you got to give it a shot. I mean, half your shots are going to miss, or more than half, frankly. Yeah. But you got to make shots too to win the game. So you got to shoot. So keep shooting. Some will go in, some won't. Boy, that's some existential philosophy coming at you right there from your man, your baby Buddha Britton coming up with some philosophies. Here's we all Mike V. I also recommended Matt Wallner.
Yes.
On the last Fab. I hope you got him because that dude hits home runs. Yeah, that's another home run hitter. If you missed out on Rece and Colt Keith, take a look about Matt Wallner. He's playing well. And the Twins always, unfortunately, deal with injuries. So he might get some full-time playing time. Mike Toglia, we also like too for home runs, and Lawrence Butler, because nobody wants anybody on the A's. But look at Lawrence Butler. He's been playing well, batting leadoff, hitting home runs, he'll steal bases. He's like Ellie. He's like a Ellie De La Cruz type player, just tooled out guy. But like I said, he's on the A's, so he may be flying under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, good call. Eddie says, Mike, my concern with Joyce is as hard as he throws, hitters are not being struck at. Yeah, we talked about this, Eddie. Like I said, he's going to have to locate better and find a secondary and maybe a third pitch here too in order to put guys away. But he's young. He obviously was drafted because of this, because of how hard he throws. He has closer stuff, and they'll want him to work on this now. So I still think he's the closer for sure. But the guys who throw over 100, we've seen it with guys like Mason Miller, even and Michael Kopech. Doesn't mean they're good because they throw 100. They need to locate, and you can see the differences between Miller and you can see the differences in Kopech. So Joyce is going to have to figure that out as well. Yes, he throws hard, but he'll need to locate and find a better secondary pitch and put guys away to get those strikeouts. So another guy I like on the A's, Britton, that we've talked about since we talked about Lawrence Butler, Max Schuemann. Okay, I don't know if you know him or not, but second base, shortstop, and outfield eligible. If you guys have been watching the show long enough, you know I'm a sucker for guys who play multiple positions and can play in multiple spots. So over the last 2 weeks, Britton, he's got 2 home runs and 4 stolen bases, and he's batting .333. So yes, he plays for the A's, but do you have any interest in Max Schuemann in deeper formats? Only 14% rostered.
I do, and because I've been looking through the A's roster, who they start, who they've got coming down the pike, like Jacob Wilson, I believe, is like their top prospect. Because I keep saying it. Next year they're playing on the moon. They're playing at a AAA ballpark that's going to be ridiculous. Like outfield is like 360. Okay, like. So if you're in a dynasty keeper auto new league, load up on these A's, like guys that are playing like Schuemann, Lawrence Butler, JJ Bleday, because they're about to have career years next year. It's going to be wild, Mike V. Can you believe this? What has happened? Like Major League Baseball doesn't make billions and billions of dollars, and we can't figure out what to do with the Oakland A's. Like, hey guys, there's a town in Tennessee called Nashville. Y'all come to make it the Nashville Athletics. We'll build you whatever you want in downtown Nashville. You don't have to play in, I don't know, Reno, Nevada, or wherever the F
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, who cares? I don't know.
And here's the thing, A's ownership, if you're listening, not only will you have a beautiful city to play in, but Britton Allan will be camping outside of the stadium when you arrive with fresh hot donuts waiting for you.
Baby Buddha Britton donuts is what will greet you when you walk into the Nashville baseball park. You're going to free beer and donuts and a bunch of y'alls and a bunch of girls that party in the SEC. What do you think? Does that sound good?
Oh,
come on in.
Sign me up. We had a request from Eddie Britton because he didn't hear in the beginning of the show here, but he wants to hear the.
Give me 2.
So there you go, and he also wants this for you here too.
Coors.
So we had to play both those buttons.
Absolutely. It is a beautiful day. There's plenty of baseball on, and we got to soak up the baseball today, Mike V, like a camel, like at the Oasis, because we're about to go in the Sahara Desert, and this has got to last, my friend.
Yep.
So you got to break out the Coors Light. You got to lock up the family in a room, throw away the key, and just turn it on baseball and soak it up, because next week's going to be hard, Mike. It's going to be hard.
It is. It's going to be really hard. I'm going to be ultra productive and get good sleep though, so I will know that. UE2K, I don't think I've seen you here before, man. If you have, I apologize, but if you haven't done so, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Follow both myself and Britton on Twitter. I'm at _Mike Virginia. Or Mike VA, I apologize. And Britton is at Britton Allan, 2 T's, 2 L's. Sticking with the theme of the show here. He wants to know, would you drop Ha-Seong Kim for Colt Keith, Rece Hinds, or Angel Martinez? Sorry, Angel, in a points league. This is a good question here, Britton.
I like
love this one a lot.
This is a great
It's tough.
question because a lot of people are facing this decision, and I would drop Kim. Are we talking in a points league? Yeah, I would drop Kim for it in that order: Keith, Rece Hinds, and then on Hill. I don't think I'd trade. I don't think I'd drop Kim for Martinez. What do you think?
Neither would I. I'm with that. I know a lot. Everybody in the chat is buzzing about him, but I talked about it as well. He was like 2 for 20 over the past 5 games, so I'm just not a fan of him until I need to see more. And I understand that people like him in deeper formats, but this one doesn't sound like a deep format at all here, Britton. If these guys are available, so I would drop Kim in the order that you have him in. I would drop Kim for Keith or Hinds. I would try to find a way to get both of them, but I'm not dropping him for on Hill. So I think we're in agreement there. Let's see here. Looking through, and you guys are all talking here. I appreciate that. So Mo Professed Robbie wants to know, so add Abraham. Is this Robbie Baseball? Did he change his YouTube handle?
That's that's got to be. How many accounts does Robbie Baseball?
I know. I was just getting ready to ask that. Was the YouTube certified mechanic down this morning? Is that why?
Yeah, apparently that account's been wiped.
Yeah,
by the Canadian authorities in Letterkenny came down and wiped that account. So now he's got a new one. He's a rebel, man. He's a Canadian rebel.
Well, he's made it clear too that he was Abraham Toro was a Jesus take the wheel pick for Robbie. Make sure you guys check out Robbie and Ben on Mondays. They do the Prospects Power Hour, and Robbie makes a Jesus take the wheel pick for the week. So I believe Abraham Toro was one of those guys.
Yeah,
previously.
Yeah, he had a good run there for about a month, but he's hurt now. But I believe. Yeah. But hey, we need to talk about the MLB draft real quick.
Yes,
that's today, right?
I believe so. Yep.
All right, first pick. Who you got?
The kid from Oregon. I'll be honest. Yeah. I think I've heard nothing but good things about him. I watched him play a couple times too. I think he's the consensus. Is there another guy I'm forgetting?
I'm going Charlie Condon. He's University of Georgia player. He's had like the one of the best collegiate seasons we've seen. So, but the guy from Oregon State, who I think is from Australia,
from down under,
thunder down under. Yeah, I like him too. But yeah, Charlie Condon for me. So, but you know, Mike V, how it works. Like there's slot money, and it's not about picking the best player. It's about a million different things. But I like. I'm going. Give me Charlie Condon, which. I need to go to DraftKings and see if that's because they do money line on that. So I need to go check that out.
So we had Jim Callis on the show for a couple earlier in the season, which is if you haven't checked that out, make sure you guys do that. He's one of MLB.com's prospect guys. Here's the mock that they released at 2:30 in the morning yesterday, the final mock. Okay. I'll just go over a quick couple picks here. The Guardians, Callis has the Guardians taking JJ Weatherholt from West Virginia.
Great.
So does Jonathan Mayo. So they both have him going number 1 to the Guardians, which, by the way, can the rich get richer? The Guardians get the number 1 overall draft pick. Like, good Lord.
I know, man. It's crazy how good they are.
They both have the Reds taking Charlie Condon from Georgia. It kind of looks like Charlie Condom, which is weird. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Then they have the Rock.
Nothing like a good condom joke. Nothing like a dick joke here at the Plaza Podcast. Donuts and dicks.
Donuts and dicks. What else?
We should change the name of our show. Not Faab-Ulous Waiver, but Donuts and Dicks with Mike and Britton. We don't know which one you're going to get, but you're going to get one.
Today you got both. Okay, you talk. Give me 2. You got dicks and donuts today. Oh Jesus! The Rockies. Callis has Chase Burns from Wake Forest. They both have Chase Burns number 4. Where's my dude? Oh, here we go. And then Callis and Mayo. Callis has the A's drafting Travis Bazzana from Oregon.
That's
State.
The guy from Oregon State, right?
Yeah. Yep. They both have him going number 4 to the A's. So, and then lastly, number 5 to round out, Connor Griffin, the shortstop outfield prospect from Jackson Prep. Going number 5, Callis has him going there, and then Mayo has Braden Montgomery from Texas A&M. So,
I'm excited that we're talking about, and you know, Robbie and big Gentle Ben, please go to the YouTube, Plazo YouTube, and click on their MLB Draft shows. They did 2 of them that were outstanding. The most recent one, it was I watched, and I watched it live. It's a lot of fun. So to get your draft juices going, does the draft start this afternoon, Mike V, or is that like a prime time Tonight Network situation?
I thought it was an afternoon thing. Maybe late afternoon is what I was thinking, at least, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I bet they'll do Robbie and Ben will do the recap show tomorrow. So everybody check that out too.
Robbie just said it here. They'll discuss it tomorrow night. So make sure you guys tune in to Robbie and Ben's Prospect Power Hour right here on the Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Make sure you guys check that out. It'll be definitely fun for them recapping how the draft went and their thoughts. All right, Britton, we are a little bit over an hour here. I'm going to get to a couple more things and I get to head out.
Yeah, man, we got baseball and Coors Light to take care of, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's effing hilarious. Dicks and Donuts. That's what we're going to call it now. The Dick and Donut Waiver Wire Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. Joseph. Oh, this is what you get to Palazzo Podcast here, guys. Okay. You just not only get info and you get your questions answered, you get humor. And best of all, you get this beautiful, beautiful man to the right of me here, Britton Allan. Okay. The guy should be a stand-up comedian. So you get entertainment value with this guy. That's why we do so well in these Sunday shows.
You are too kind. Yes. I can't do this. This is why I love having Mike V here. See, I bounce off dumb shit, and then he sails the boat. He sails the ship, and I'm out on the back with the dancing monkeys out there. But Mike V's sailing the ship.
Yeah, jeez. This is why this show is so awesome here. So, real quick, I also want to touch on it real quick. Govier's got a show coming up tonight too. The Detroit Tigers guys and Govier. So make sure you guys check that out. They're going to be I think it's a live reaction show for the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Govier will put that out. Chad says Govier has the Dick soundboard option. He would just need to add a Homer Simpson Donuts quote. And you guys are set. Eddie says Palazzo podcasters are the best. Absolutely, man. Thanks, you guys very much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, this is why you guys are a group of the best podcasts on the internet. Appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate
very
that.
kind. Thank you, sir.
Richards and beignets to pass it by the censors.
That's right. F the censors. Dicks and donuts.
Next Sunday, if you guys want some Dick and Donut jokes,
F the censors. Yeah, it's a contradiction, isn't it? It's supposed to be.
Oh my God!
I'm confusing myself.
Yeah, me too. Chad's gonna get the link here. He's gonna post it in the chat for Govier's live stream today. But real quick, one more question here for you, Britton, and then we got to get out of here because I got to go watch baseball and sit my fat ass on the couch the rest of the day. Best SPRP: Luis Ortiz, Yariel Rodriguez, or Alec Marsh? Who do you like best of this group?
I like all those, man. Alec Marsh has been good. I'd probably Rodriguez for the Blue Jays. Like we talked about the Blue Jays. It's just a mess. So I would do Ortiz 1, Marsh 2, and then Rodriguez 3rd.
Yeah, I would actually probably take a slighter take on that. I like Ortiz number 1 as well. I would actually go Yariel Rodriguez simply because of the Ks. I don't like Alec Marsh a whole lot. He's been up and down. Rodriguez at least is giving you Ks. Even on Friday's start, I think he still got you 7. So Luis Ortiz has been money for the Pirates. So I think we were in greens him with number 1. I'd go Rodriguez 2 and Marsh 3, but Britton is swapping Marsh and Rodriguez. So I think the number 1 option there for you, UE2K, is Luis Ortiz. So Adam Lee says, work. Great show, guys. Only real men work on hangover Sundays. You're damn right. And we talk about dicks and donuts. So that's what we do here.
Hey, be careful on that Luis Ortiz because there are a couple. Make sure you get the right one.
Right.
Look for that middle initial L because you might accidentally pick up a reliever named Luis Ortiz. So watch out for that one.
That is true, Adam. You talked about Yariel being a whip killer. He obviously has not been great, but before that start, he went 2 straight games, solid starts against Seattle and somebody else, which are not the best of offenses. I get it, but I still like him, and he's one of the Blue Jays' top prospects too, as well. So, yeah. All right. we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys very much for tuning into the show today. It's been a blast, Britton. Chad says the show for Govier starts at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, so make sure that you guys check that out with Govier and the boys from the Detroit Tigers. They're going to be doing a draft show. Make sure you guys check that out. It'll be entertaining, and you guys know Govier is going to bring it in terms of the entertainment value. So
I can't wait to see it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. This has been the Palazzo Podcast. Myself, make sure you guys are following myself and Britton on Twitter. I'm at _Mike VA, the yellow bubble right here. Britton's at Britton Allan, 2 T's, 2 L's. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get in the Discord. You guys know the deal. We talk about it every show. Thank you guys very much for being here today. It has been a blast. You guys have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of baseball because we're off until next Friday, baby. So, Britton, have a great Sunday, man. Drink a couple Miller Lights for your boy here. Go enjoy a donut. Thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of the day. And if you guys have questions and still want to hit us up on Twitter or get in the Discord, happy to do so. All right. Thank you guys again. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Later, dudes.